You know, when I sing my little jingle about why the fuck anybody would buy silver when you can buy 100 times more bismuth, I don't mean it just as a advertising slogan, but as a sincere question. See, this is 5 silver die that I recently bought. I love to play Yahtzee competitively, and I had very good luck bringing silver dice to my very first backgammon tournament, and it's always a good conversation starter. Unfortunately, I tried to pour dice out of bismuth. It did not turn very well. The end of the cube will protrude out of the mold because bismuth expands when it freezes. I'm thinking of potentially an alloy of bismuth with something that contracts when it freezes, maybe even silver. If I can get the ratio just right and it doesn't change volume when it freezes, then I could pour some dice. But anyways, I'll give that a try at some point. But when I ask why the fuck would anybody buy silver when they could buy 100 times more bismuth, it's a sincere question. Bismuth I can make beautiful stuff out of, right? I can make I can melt in at home, right? I guess I have melted silver before. It takes the furnace, right? Silver has a melting point of, I believe, 900 degrees Celsius, 900 something. I can't remember the exact number. Certainly not something that's very easy to work with, right? And it's very damaging to the graphite molds. Some of the molds that I use for bismuth, I can get probably 1,000 pours out of, but I could probably get more like a few dozen pours with silver because of the higher temperatures. For silicone molds, forget it. Even bismuth will damage them over time. And then don't forget the rarity of it all, right? So bismuth is about 10 times rarer than silver, only about 3 times more common than gold, right? I have a hard time wrapping my head around this. Is gold just overvalued because everybody's going for it? Or is bismuth undervalued? I suspect it's a combination of both, right? There is about, I think about 1 ounce of gold per capita around the world. It's very similar in terms of scarcity to some of the cryptocurrencies, right? You can think of gold as a 5,000-year-old cryptocurrency. That's what I've been thinking it as of late, right? Silver is too, but it is kind of undervalued right now, right? Usually it's 15 to 1 versus gold. Right now it's 80 to 1. But you know what? Bismuth used to be worth almost as much as silver, and now it's 100 times less. So depends how you look at it, right? I did a calculation one time. If you were to look at every element's rarity relative to its price, bismuth is one of the cheapest metals on there. Tellurium is up there too. Tellurium is 8 times rarer than gold, if I remember correctly, and it's going for $40-50 a kilogram, depending on how much you buy. There's also rhenium, if I remember correctly, going for about $30 an ounce, but also like 10 times rarer than gold. What else was there? Indium. Indium is not so rare in the Earth's crust, but the amount mined is very small. So I take it with a grain of salt. But indium is used. The camera that I'm recording this in probably has some indium because it's used in the touch screen. What else is there? Some of the metals that are toxic are also pretty rare, although I wouldn't recommend it unless you have a safe way to contain it. We got thallium. Well, you're looking at a trace amount of thallium in here, I guess. Not enough to really harm you. Thallium used to be used in rat poison. Mercury, which used to be used in thermometers and is almost as rare as gold. You can't really buy it online very easily because some of these things you need a license to work with nowadays. And then there's some of the radioactive elements like thorium and uranium. Although uranium's not all that rare, it's just that the amount mined is limited for political reasons, obviously. But just for the beauty of it, right? The reason I don't sing the same jingle for tellurium and indium is because you can't easily do this. In fact, tellurium would make you smell bad, right, if you tried to do anything like this with it, right?